When you talk about brands like Google, Pepsi, Apple, Nike, what is the one thing that is common among these? Yes, it is their products and services. But their enduring success also depends on the fact that they are admired. They are loved and trusted by their customers so much so that they feel a personal connect with these brands. Hello and welcome to Women Influencers Talk Show. My name is Sadaf and here I would like to inform you that please watch the episode till the very end, because at the end we are going to ask you a contest question. So before we proceed, please do subscribe to our channel and be a part of our community. They say customers' behavior create a lot of value for a company in the form of increased profit, great partnership, customer retention and much more. Now you must be wondering why I am giving you all this gyan about sales and marketing and branding. Well, the only reason is that today we have Nidhi Vadhera on our show, who was associated with Citi Financial Team some years back and is now an entrepreneur, an author and also a YouTuber who is on a mission to help educate entrepreneurs and corporate professionals to achieve edge through people and process development. Hello Nidhi, welcome to Women Influencers Talk Show. How are you doing and how is life in this pandemic?
Hi Sadaf, thank you so much for having me on the show, and I'm really doing fantastic. Pandemic times have really worked in my favor because a couple of things have gone right. My book is out, my digital courses are up, and since most of my work is online these days, so I have nothing to complain actually.
Wonderful, and I agree with you completely. This time of pandemic has been a time of self-discovery and self-exploration for so many of us. I mean, we have explored and discovered an aspect of our life which we never thought ever existed. Nidhi, you have come a long way both professionally and personally, so we would love to know a little bit about your childhood years.
So my childhood was spent in Haryana. I belong to a small district called Karnal, and typical middle class upbringing where we neither had too less that we were struggling nor we had too much, that we were splurging all around. But thankfully, that small district and a middle class upbringing, it never interfered with the kind of opportunities that came my way. So I was academically doing very well. I was the sports captain of my school. I was the head girl of my school. I was the debate champion of my state. So everything went on well for me, and I have beautiful fond memories of my childhood.
That's great. Nidhi, it is believed that to be successful in a corporate world, you need to have high weightage degrees in black and white from renowned colleges and universities. What would you like to say to a person who doesn't have one? And is it very difficult to find a place in the corporate world otherwise?
See, this is what I keep emphasizing upon time and again, that we belong to a country where we have a population of roughly 3.5 billion people. Now, out of these 3.5 billion people, not everybody can study business management, acquire higher degrees, neither, they will have their desire to do so. But the opportunities available are such that they are degree oriented. So if I were to give you a candid opinion here, I would say that every organization has a corporate culture. There are organizations which are highly degree driven, which are highly, driven by the fact where you study from, because the alumni linkage is so strong. Having said that, there are organizations which are more on the skill front. For example, in hospitality, in tourism, in events, this is the industry where they would not typically look for a very high degree. But if you think about going to an IT space or you think about going to financial services, yes, there is a culture of having degrees in black and white. But if you are somebody who, because of any circumstance and because of any resource crunch, you are not able to acquire degree right now, don't think it is the end of the world. You have an entire life ahead of you and you can acquire education whenever you want. And these days, I think it is a phenomenal time where so much of education and certification is available online at super competitive prices. So it's not about having a degree or not degree. It is about whether you are willing to keep upgrading your skills or not. And I think that is very, very important for everybody who wants to move ahead in the corporate ladder or do something of their own.
That's right. I mean, if we look around ourselves today, it's just not the youth, but so many people in their 40s and 50s who are not shying away and going ahead in acquiring a new skill, or for that matter, pursuing a degree from a university or an institute. I mean, it's such a wonderful time. The only thing that is needed is a will, and that's all. Nidhi, you're not just a very successful sales coach and business consultant, but also India's first woman author on sales. What motivated you to get into sales?
I think this is the time where I have to tell you the truth. So in 17 years of my career, Sadaf, I have never come across even a single person who says I want to become a sales professional. So I think for most of us, it's a de facto path that we get into. Like I told you, I belong to a typical middle class background, and every child who comes from a similar background has only one dream, to get into a corporate job. So when I was looking out for a job, the opportunity that I got was a sales opportunity, and that is how I got into this profession. So it was not a thought through a career path that I chose and I went ahead with. It happened by default, and I'm glad that it happened.
Okay, Nidhi, sometimes I believe in the power of destiny and how it unfolds in front of us. It sometimes happens that we land up doing something that is outstanding and remarkable, and then we wonder how it has happened. Now, coming back to you and talking about your experience with sales and marketing, what, in your opinion, is the key to sales in today's competitive world?
Now, whether we talk about the key to sales success in today's competitive time, or we talk about the historic time, the prehistoric time, I think there are two critical components that have to be a part of your sales journey. One is your ability to form connections with people, and second is your ability to share your ideas with others. So communication and connection are the two key components for sales success, whether we talk about today's competitive markets, a decade from now, or a century from now.
Well, that's right. Even the top-notch established brands believe in the power of communication and connection, and any effort required to create an admired brand is worth its weight in gold. Nidhi, you are the first Indian woman author to write on sales, and interestingly, the title is Romancing Targets. So what was the idea behind writing this book and this interesting title?
Talking about the book, so Romancing Targets is the first project that I have taken on, the first writing project. And this book I wrote keeping in mind the sales beginners or the people who are just getting started on their sales journey, especially for those who do not come from a business management background. And while I was in my sales journey, there were a couple of things that I observed, challenges that I faced. So I wanted to help everybody who I touch base with later in my life so that they can beam with confidence when they start their sales journey. And as far as the interesting title is concerned, so see, sales is all about creating influence, right? How you create influence through your thoughts, through your words. And when I see people talk about the word targets, they are always stressed. They always are fearful of what is going to happen next. How are they going to achieve those targets? So I wanted to create that influence, that impact right from the beginning, and that is why I've named my book Romancing Targets, so that people get a perspective that if we understand what is the right way to approach targets, yes, there can be a comfortable relationship between you and your target. So that is the primary reason I named my book Romancing Targets. It has 7 chapters in total, and the book is primarily centered around sales beginners. So this is the first book in my journey, many more to come, and I wanted to start from the foundation level so that I can build it up.
Awesome. And I'm sure this book is not just going to help a lot of beginners, but also to all those people who want to get a hang of the subject and also understand its nuances. Nidhi, you will agree with me that people in sales go through a lot of hurdles and problems and challenges, which I'm sure you must have also faced. So please share with us, what were the hurdles that you faced in your early years in the sales job?
Oh, I have faced many challenges in the beginning of my career. And like I mentioned in my book, sales is all about two important things. One is the mindset and one is the process. So since I had a small town upbringing, I think my mindset was the major culprit that posed me a lot of challenges in my sales journey in the beginning of my years, because I had to transit and I was resisting that transition. So that was one. And the second part, as far as the process part is concerned, so like I mentioned, I have never worked in sales before, and I didn't know how the entire system of sales operated. So in terms of my knowledge, my skills, my compatibility with the team members, the way I was managing my teams, the way I was targeting my future goals, everything was getting a beating one after the other, because one, I was not able to change my mindset, and secondly, in those days, I was a young girl and I thought I know it all. There's nothing that anybody can teach me. So that somewhere was the major roadblock in me learning and moving ahead in my journey. So there were a lot of challenges, and after so many years in the journey, now I feel that instead of blaming others, if I would have taken the accountability back then and there, I could have sorted out my things much faster.
Sure, I think most of us can relate to what you have just said. Now in today's time, during this pandemic, when business all over the world has suffered both financially and also resource crunch, what are the tips that you would like to give to new sales executives?
I listen to a lot of conversations centered around, what needs to be done after the pandemic situation. But in my opinion, nobody has seen a pandemic situation. At least 3 generations before from ours, nobody has seen a situation. So how can we predict a workable strategy? Having said that, there are few tweaks we all must make in ourselves as an individual to ensure that the journey ahead is smoother. The first thing I would like to suggest to all the salespeople who are listening to me is, please be compassionate to your customers. Okay, the pandemic times have been very tough on them emotionally, financially. So instead of expecting quick results and quick closure from your customers, be a little patient with them. Secondly, try to be a single point of contact for your customer. So if you are the sales resource who go ahead, touch base with your customer, if you are the one who has spoken about the product, you have closed the sale, then be the single point of contact. Don't say, sir, my job is over, now the operations will take over. Your customer has developed trust in you and they would want you to handhold them throughout their sales journey, even after the purchase. So be ready for that. And the third thing which I would strongly recommend to all the viewers who are listening to me and who are watching me, that you have to work on upgrading your skills. See, as it is, there was a huge digital wave coming, but because of the pandemic, it got expedited. So quickly transit, shift your skills to learning new digital skills, understand how Zoom call works, how webinars work, how, social media marketing platforms work, how the integration works. So get going, don't waste your time, enroll yourself into the learning programs and just get prepared for the future ahead of you.
I second that, Nidhi, and thank you so much for explaining it all so well. Now, when we talk about balancing between personal and professional life, especially for a working mom, what has been your balancing strategy and what is your advice to our viewers?
See, undoubtedly, managing your professional life along with your personal life, especially when you are a mom, is super duper hard. Because office people have their own expectations. They don't want you to make excuse because they say, I'm giving you equal benefits and equal salary, so don't make an excuse here. At home, you have a baby and you have your responsibilities as a mother. You have your emotions also going in favor of your baby, your family members, and you have to live up to their expectations also. So it's a super difficult situation in my opinion. Now, if you ask me, Nidhi, what is a way out? So girls, if you have decided to pursue your career even after you become a mom, then I think we all need to go back to our basics. We have to get back to the joint family system. You have to have the elderly of your family, whether it is from the paternal side or the maternal side, that is completely your choice. But elderlies of the family have to be there in the house so that as a new mom or as a mother, you are completely free, that your child is safe and your child is getting the right value system so that you can focus on your job. So if you have an ambition to pursue your career, my suggestion is to get back to the family system where the elderlies can support you and take care of the baby.
So true. Having an elder in the family is such a boon, and they are those lucky ones who have this support system. Now, coming back to you, Nidhi, if not sales, what do you think you would have been doing professionally, and where do you see yourself 10 years down the line?
That's a very interesting question, but at the same time, I have a lot of clarity in terms of what would I have been doing if I was not selling. So if not sales, definitely I would have been a full-time author. And I feel so blessed that I'm living best of both the worlds. I'm selling also and I'm writing also, so can't thank my stars more than that. If you ask me where would I be 10 years from now, I definitely feel that I will be a much more empowered sales professional and author 10 years from now, and I would be in a position to impact over 1 million lives in terms of the influence I create and the kind of confident sales professionals that I'm able to create in times to come, who are able to achieve their dreams, whether they work in individual capacities, they are business owners, or they work for corporations.
I really like this clarity of thought and a plan in mind. I mean, why not? Don't we plan so many small things in our lives? Like, for example, if you have to throw a party, you plan accordingly. Or if you're going on a trip, you plan there as well. So why not for your life? It's so important. Planning also helps us in avoiding many roadblocks and many negative things that might come on our way if we don't plan. Coming back to you, Nidhi, you are a very famous YouTuber also. What strategies did you employ to popularize it, and what are the tips that you would like to give to the new YouTubers?
See, there's a very interesting reason behind me starting the YouTube channel. Like I told you, I come from Haryana, and in my state, not many people talk in English. But fortunately or unfortunately, most of the knowledge that we have hidden inside the books is written in English. So what about the children and what about the people who do not understand English language? Somebody should act as a bridge to bring that knowledge of books to them, and that's the primary reason I started my YouTube channel. So I think my vision was never to become popular or to gain popularity or fame on YouTube channel. The vision was something different entirely. If you ask me what have I been doing in terms of gaining popularity, I have just been consistent with my viewers. That is all I have done, and gradually it is picking up with time. If you are a new YouTuber and if you are looking for a strategy from me, I would say first of all be very clear about the category that you are entering into. Because an entertainment category, a category which is related to sports, cookery, or maybe something sensational, no, those channels, they catch eyeballs very easily. But if you're trying to enter a space which is more literature driven, which is more content driven, that is going to take a lot of time. Not that I am, going against anybody else's content, but if you talk about typically about Gyan books in this segment, if you're getting into, it is going to take you a lot of time. So stay consistent and don't expect overnight success. In my opinion, I am also in the journey. I see nothing less than 4 or 5 years of committed hard work in terms of your YouTube content creation before you see any success. So my only suggestion to new YouTubers is please have patience and focus on the quality of content that you create.
Thank you, Nidhi. That was very insightful, and I'm sure that's a great takeaway for many YouTubers who are watching this show. Nidhi, you are an avid reader. Would you like to recommend any 5 top books from your list that would help our viewers in moving ahead, both professionally and personally?
For those of you who want to get ahead in life, you must be in the company of books. And the 5 books that I would like to recommend are Start With Why by Simon Sinek. I would like to recommend Secret by Rhonda Byrne. Then I would like to recommend Creative Confidence by David Kelly and Tom Kelly. I would also like to recommend How to Talk to Anyone by Leah Lavendus. And the 5th book I want to suggest to you at this point is The Power of Introverts by Susan Cain. And if I may add to the list, of course, Romancing Targets.
Thanks for the recommendation. Now my next question, which I often ask my guest, is for 2 reasons. Number 1 is that to understand what is the work culture in various fields that they belong to, and also to understand the mindset of the society that we are living in. And my question is, as a woman, have you ever felt being watched and judged more often? And how did you deal with the prejudice, if any?
See, as a woman, I have no hesitation in accepting the fact that there have been instances where I felt I'm being watched from head to toe, or I'm being judged for every single word I speak. But I'm really happy that I see things are changing for good now, given the education levels and given the exposure levels. If you ask me how do I deal with these prejudices, so there was a certain point in life, and as it is, there is a point in everybody's life where we in general are scared of a lot of things, prejudices being one. People's judgment being one. But as you move forward in your life and with the experiences and exposure you have, you understand that all that matters is how confident you are about yourself. So if you're confident about yourself as a person, if you're confident about your thoughts, and if you're confident about your actions, I think that's the best way to deal with any kind of prejudice or judgment or people's opinion on you. So in my opinion, ladies especially, they have to work on building their confidence every single day.
True, and as Theodore Roosevelt says, each time we face our fears, we gain courage, strength, and confidence in the doing. Now, before we say goodbye to you, what are your thoughts about our show?
Please accept my wholehearted congratulations for creating a wonderful platform like this, where women from different spheres, they come, they talk about their journey, and everybody has accomplished something or the other. So for viewers, if I look at the value of the content, I think it is immensely high, because people are getting to learn from the journeys of others who have gone through a path, who faced the challenges, and who have come out of it as winners. So congratulations, Sadaf. It's a beautiful platform that you've created, and I feel very happy that I could contribute to the show in some small way. Thank you for giving me the opportunity, and thank you for having me over.
Thank you, Nidhi, for those kind words, and thank you so much for coming on our show and sharing your experience and giving those advice to our viewers. It was truly influencing and enlightening. Thank you so much for your time. And now is the time for contest question. What is the name of Nidhi's native place, and what is her debut book titled as? To send us your answer, you know the drill. You have to follow me on my Instagram account. The handle is given below, and you have to DM me the answer with hashtag womeninfluencerstalkshow. That's so simple, isn't it? So before I say goodbye to you, please subscribe to our channel and also press the bell icon for future notification. And so till we meet next time again, Take care, stay safe, and be happy.